what's going on, guys? It's T-Max95 here. I know it's been about 6 years since I made a video, and the reasoning for that is everybody else's reason. I just got caught up with life. Anyway, after I quit making videos, I ended up flipping a couple tanks. I had a 65-gallon drilled, and I didn't actually run it as a drilled. I just left the water level below the overflow and ran it as a normal tank. And I had it for a little while. I wasn't really into the hobby real hard at that point. I basically just did the bare minimum on maintenance-wise and the fish and corals. I basically just did just enough to keep it up and running. I worked a lot at that point. I was in high school, so I was just kind of floating, going with the flow, if you will, with it. But I ended up selling that tank, and then I bought a BioCube. And I had that BioCube, I set it up as freshwater, I didn't do anything with it, and I ended up selling it. And then at that point, I stayed out of the hobby, I think, for about 2 years. And then I ended up getting a 46-gallon bow front. It was a cool tank, it had a stainless steel stand, it was kind of unique, but it was a mixed reef. It had a sump as well, but I did not run it as a sump. I tried to grow some Chaeto in there with the refugium, and it didn't work out very well. It was a new setup, and the Chaeto died off, and that was it. So I canceled the sump on that and just left it as a normal tank. It wasn't drilled or anything. And then I ended up buying this tank here. This is a 72-gallon bow front drilled with the center overflow, as you see. I've had this tank currently for about 3.5 years. When I got it, it had hardly any corals. It had a humongous blue hippo, which I have a picture. Maybe I'll edit that in. It was a show-size tank. It was about, I don't know, it was everywhere from 8 to 9 inches probably. It was huge. It was about 1.5 inches thick. It was a humongous fish. But I ended up selling that after keeping it for about 2 months. It was just cruel to keep it in this size of tank. It was just way too big. But then, as you see now, it is a mixed reef. It has hard, soft, and LPS. I have LPS, SPS, and softies. So basically, I have everything. But everything's doing really well. I have one of the most controversial fish in here. Actually, a couple. I have 2 angelfish, a coral beauty, and a flame angel. Most people complain about having those in a reef, let alone in a reef together. Knock on wood, I don't have any issues, and I've done that setup in the past. In some of my other videos, you can see that I had 2 angels in a reef tank. But I also have a very controversial copper band butterfly, as you will see swimming right there. He's doing really well. I've had him for, I think, almost 2 months. He's doing good. I hand feed him some clams, live clams from the seafood department of the local grocery store, and as you can see in the bottom there, that is actually how I do it. I shuck the clam and then rubber band it to a rock, and he loves it, and the blue hippo actually likes it also. I didn't think she would, but she does. The newest fish in here is the blonde naso in the left by the overflow. I've only had him a week today. He seems to be doing good. He's picking algae and everything. He doesn't like to eat foods that I introduce real well. He will eat Chaeto algae. If I put it on a clip, he'll eat that. But he doesn't really like flake or pellet or brine yet. He did have like 2 pieces of brine today, so that's a step forward. But he seems to be out swimming. Nobody's really picking on him, and he's eating all the algae, so that's good. Those clowns are actually a mated pair of egg-laying clowns. I have a video of them laying their last current batch, which was about 2 weeks ago. I have a video of that. I might put that in here as well. But I'm going to do more videos in the future. I just wanted to give you a quick little update of what I've been up to in the past 6 years. But the coral frag swap, which if you're in Ohio, you'll know what that is if you're in the reef hobby. It's the Central Ohio Reef Aquarius. I've mentioned it in some of my past videos. And anyways, it's a big swap that's up in Columbus, which is the capital of our state. But anyway, it's a really cool event. You go up, there's a lot of people, a lot of different vendors, and you go up, you can get corals cheap, you can get invertebrates pretty cheap. They do have some fish, kind of rare to find fish up there, but they do have some. But it's a very neat swap. It only happens once a year, and it's usually pretty big. This year, it is a little bit smaller. It's only 2 hours. Usually, it's 4 hours, but it's only 2 this year. But I'm excited for that. It's usually a great time. You pay a small little fee to get in, and then you get to swap and talk, and there's actually some raffling they do off at the end of the day, where you can put in your raffle tickets and win like skimmers, supplements, food, new equipment, stuff like that. But anyway, if you have any questions for me about the current setup, just leave them in the comment section below, and I will respond. I'm gonna be making more videos. Like I said, I plan to do several. Below, I'll show you real quick my current setup with the sump. I have a G2 skimmer, and then in the middle, I have my Chato. Now, I just pruned this and sold a whole bunch on eBay, but this is currently what's in there. Not very much, but I'll show you in a week from now when I make another video. Hopefully it'll be within a week. After the swap, I will show you how much it grows. I'm currently using a LED light in one of the normal reflectors from Walmart, and it's doing really well. It's a full spectrum bulb. I paid 20 bucks for it on Amazon, and it grows the Chato really, really well. Down here, I also have the UV sterilizer, and I also have a Fosband reactor back there with the NPX bioplastics. And what drives both of those is just 2 separate maxi jets. The only thing I dose in my tank currently is I picked this up about a month ago, and I got that on Amazon. And then I've used Bionic in the past, like when I first got this tank, like 3.5 years ago. I used this for probably 5 or 6 months, and then everything ran up. I had the other part to it. I threw that bottle away. But anyway, what I have in here now is just Purple Tech, which is basically a generic version of Purple Up. It's Kent's version. And that's the only thing I dose in my tank are those 2 items. And I do that about once every 2 weeks. I'll throw in some Purple Tech. But I do this new Kent microvert stuff. I do that kind of religiously. I do it every couple days. I also have a 10-gallon Nano, which I will make a video on that. I have some Picasso clowns in there and some mixed Reef items. So I'll do a video update on that, and then I'll answer any questions that you guys have. But at this point, I will just do a quick little video with some music over what I have in the tank. So thank you.